For much of the 20th century, the popular image of dinosaurs was of cold-blooded giants, lumbering across Mesozoic landscapes, depositing eggs and then abandoning them to the whims of fate. Like crocodiles or turtles of today, these enormous reptiles were thought to have little or no attachment to their young. In fact, the very idea that dinosaurs could be caring parents seemed unlikely, alien even. But as paleontology advanced, so too did our understanding of these ancient creatures. Evidence began to emerge, challenging the notion of heartless, solitary giants and raising a profound question: did dinosaurs care for their young? The story begins in the wind-swept deserts of Mongolia in the 1920s. Their teams from the American Museum of Natural History stumbled upon fossilized nests containing clusters of dinosaur eggs. More intriguingly, some nests appeared to show adult fossils positioned protectively atop the eggs. One such fossil, initially dubbed Oviraptor, meaning egg thief, seemed to be caught in the act of raiding a nest. For decades, this interpretation stuck. Dinosaurs, it seemed, were more interested in eating eggs than in nurturing them. But science is a process of continual revision. In the 1990s, paleontologists returned to these Mongolian sites with fresh eyes and better tools. They discovered, to their astonishment, that the so-called Oviraptor was not a thief, but a parent. The eggs in question belonged to its own species. The adult skeleton was carefully crouched over the eggs, arms spread in a gesture reminiscent of modern birds shielding their nests, suggesting, for the first time, direct parental care in a non-avian dinosaur. Other finds soon followed. In Montana's Egg Mountain, Jack Horner and his colleagues unearthed an extraordinary treasure trove: the fossilized remains of the Hadrosaur maiasaura, whose very name means good mother lizard. Layer upon layer of nests were discovered, each filled with eggs, hatchlings, and juveniles of various ages. Importantly, some of the baby dinosaurs appeared too undeveloped to have left the nest soon after hatching. Coupled with signs of chewed and digested plant material brought into the nests, these clues implied something remarkable. Maiasaura likely nurtured its young, feeding them and perhaps guarding the nest for weeks or months. These discoveries revolutionized the way scientists viewed dinosaur behavior. Rather than lone behemoths, some dinosaurs may have formed colonies, brooded their eggs, and even tended to their offspring, much like modern birds. Fossilized footprints at several nesting sites show clusters of young and adult prints intermingled, suggesting social groups and communal rearing. But the story of dinosaur parenting doesn't end with herbivores. The famous feathered fossils of Leonine China have yielded snapshots of another kind of care. Fossils of troodontids and oviraptorids, both closely related to birds, were found preserved in brooding postures, sitting atop clutches of eggs. The arrangement of the eggs in neat circles or spirals hints at meticulous nest building and perhaps shared incubation duties. Some paleontologists have even theorized that warm-blooded metabolism, an avian trait, may have helped these dinosaurs keep their eggs at the right temperature, further cementing the link between dinosaurs and the birds we know today. Of course, not all dinosaurs were doting parents. The giant sauropods, with their massive bodies and relatively small brains, probably laid hundreds of eggs in simple pits before moving on, leaving their young to fend for themselves. There is little direct evidence for care in these groups, and the survival of hatchlings would have depended more on numbers and luck than on nurture. Meanwhile, meat-eating theropods show a more complicated picture. Some, like the giant tyrannosaurs, may have guarded nests or helped rear the young, but physical evidence is sparse. Still, rare fossils, such as grouped hatchling bones and possible nesting sites, suggest at least some degree of protection or social behavior. What emerges from all this evidence is a fuller, richer depiction of dinosaur life. Parental care varied dramatically from species to species, just as it does in today's reptiles and birds. Some dinosaurs, especially those closely related to modern birds, appear to have invested significant time and energy in raising their offspring, guarding, feeding, and teaching them. The question of whether dinosaurs cared for their young thus reveals a dinosaur world more dynamic and complex than we could have imagined just a few decades ago. Our vision of these ancient creatures continues to evolve with every new fossil unearthed, suggesting that, in at least some corners of the Mesozoic, the bonds of family and the lessons of parental care were as old as the dinosaurs themselves.